Crazy Camp Life, votes, and tribals. The life of a survivor is more than you see on TV. So if you need the scoop on island survival, crack a coconut, put on some rice, and let's spill the immunity. Here we go. Boy, I was having some trouble hitting the live button today. I don't know what's going on with me. And it's very dark in here, and I apologize. I have terrible lighting. I don't know. I can't put a light up because I have big, giant puppies that will knock that light down if I put it on this side. So it's like I can maybe I should just like hold a flashlight up and just like do this the whole time. And, that'd be great. Hey, everybody. Welcome. Brennan is already here with us. Join in. There we go. Looking at the fresh cut on Brandon.
Brennan, the beard was getting me kicked out of grocery stores, so I had to go with a little shave here.
Looking good. I like it.
Thank you.
Well,
with you guys.
Yeah.
Man, what do we think about last night's episode?
Wow. Well, I was going to say that maybe you shouldn't, if it comes to like making sure everything is good to go with your lighting and you look great, don't hire Venus because she cannot complete the task. That immunity challenge was so rough to watch Venus. Simply just tap it in. Give it a little tap. Tap, tap, tap-a-roo, Venus.
Yeah. That will haunt her for a long time. Yeah. I know. I was really surprised by Venus in that immunity challenge. I mean, I think that pole is, thicker than her. Actually, how could she hold that up? All that. I mean, that was a really cool challenge too.
Thicker than her arms.
Yeah. That was a cool challenge. I don't know that they've ever done that one before. Love it. They held this ball, walked across the balance beam with this ball on top of it. That was pretty cool. And then they did this. I don't even know what you would call it. Like this, you had to move this pole with this ball bound, and that looked really hard. I mean, to balance that little ball just on that little platform, they usually give you like a little groove, so I was like, how long? I wonder how long it actually took them, because it took them kind of quite a bit.
Yeah, it seemed like it took them longer than those endurance challenges that that they've been trying to have break some records on this season. I'm just glad they're incorporating these animals. I mean, we got the snake thing. That was kind of cool. The first episode was the lizard thing. So, I mean, this is a great little shout out to, wildlife. So I liked it. Bree?
I liked the episode. I think, when it started, right at the very beginning, we saw the meltdown again. That has made all of the news and has been everywhere. So much conversation about this. So much like, we don't need to see that. And it's really like, what a temper tantrum she had. She shouldn't be rewarded.
I see every temper tantrum.
I want to. And I mean, listen, we all don't know. Y'all are sitting on your couches watching the show. You haven't been on there. You don't know how you would act starving for 19 or 18 days, what you would be like. Because not only are you starving, but you're pushing yourself. You're not sleeping well because you're sleeping on the ground or on sticks or whatever the heck, bamboo. I don't even know where they're sleeping. It kind of looks like they're just kind of crashed out all over the place. Like, you're not eating. You're pushing yourself in these physical tasks. You're under incredible stress. You have cameras. Can we remind people? They have cameras on them 24/7. These aren't people that are used to that. Like, I get it. Some people come in there and they're like, oh yeah, like we would maybe be a little easier because we're on Alex. I know Alex and I are on camera constantly all day long. So oh my gosh, and the dogs agree. But it's like, I think there's so much pressure. And then, without being able to eat what other people can eat. Yeah, she knew that coming into that. She has the tenacity to get through it. She's still in the game. So she's obviously still there. So I don't know. I can't deal with it. I'm over it. I'm like, good for her. She spoke her truth.
I am A-okay with her getting whatever emotion she wants to get out and be a human. That is cool with me. The part that is where it starts to get a little iffy is keep in mind that she's playing for $1 million. So she can't, just do everything and assume that people aren't going to put that in consideration for the $1 million. Now, as you're watching this game, whatever you can think whatever. You can talk about the strategy involved and say, hey, I don't think it's good for her to win this game. But to complain about how she's decided to take this pent-up aggression on all the screens and the cameras and everything else, it's a little bit different. Now, her as a marketing director, you guys are marketing people and everything. Do you think that this hurts or helps? Like, should she keep that in mind as she's kind of not only playing a game, but also, as we've been talking about, kind of selling her brand?
Well, marketing is you always create an enemy, right? And it's very polarizing. So effective marketing is pretty polarized. And we said, Liz is somebody you love her or you hate her. Mm-hmm. And so she's going to have her super fans. Did this turn people off? And people would say, oh, I would never work with somebody like that. Yeah, absolutely. Other people would say, hell yeah. Like, I feel like that all the time. I want to scream my head off, but I'm not brave enough, or I'm not strong enough, or I would never do that. And so they may look up to Liz in the way that she's able to go out there. And I was waiting for, though, when Maria made them. So huge mistake on Maria's part. Rock, paper, scissors for immunity. Like, I wanted Liz to go again and be like, I wanted her to get it again. That would have been hilarious. She should have, if she knew how well known it would have been, maybe she would have done it again, or she did have kind of another little emotional outburst at camp. But I thought it would have been super funny if Maria chose, when she let Q, she should have just blown up again. That would have been awesome.
Well, we all know in marketing, any publicity is good publicity.
That's true. That's another good point.
Not only did Applebee's, going to bring it back into this episode, did Applebee's get a ton of great marketing for their business, and wow, did that, like, whatever they paid wasn't enough, because they scored gold with that. But also, she scored gold because she's people are talking about her. They're interested in her. So whether it's good or bad, whether you hated it or you loved it, it's all good help. I just was watching this amazing TikTok. I'm taking a TikTok course, Brandon, on how to do TikTok.
I don't know how to use TikTok.
I don't know how to use it either. And I'm like, I want to learn from the best. The guy sitting next to me on this side, Alex, is the one that wrote the TikTok course because he's a master at it. And he had somebody, he was interviewing this couple, and they were saying, all of those negative comments that you get, and people are, hey, that helps your algorithm. That helps you. That you're putting more fuel in my fire, and you're helping me.
And especially this day and age, where if people are against something, then that means there's a group of people that are probably against that person for being against that thing. So I can see how that would definitely, a polarizing organization actually does help themselves. So
it's not hurting her. I'll tell you that. It's not hurting her because she's out there and people are, and here we are talking about her again, right? We're talking about it. We're talking about that she is a marketing company and she does email marketing and all of this stuff. Hey, that's free publicity for her. She's getting her name out there even more. So it's definitely helping her. I think it's a smart move. I think some of it is calculated, to be quite honest. If she's this dynamo if she's that wealthy from her business, she's doing something right. She's using this to her advantage. So kudos to her.
Especially with email marketing. Email marketing is you have to be very kind of over the top and almost emotional, and writing with very emotional language. Because with writing, you have to really embed a lot of emotion that you can't communicate through video.
Yep.
Right. So she specializes in email marketing. It's all about the crazy headline and the crazy hook, and so interesting though, she was saying, I in my life, don't speak up, and I never tell I don't know. I have a hard time believing that. I think, but maybe she needs to just do it more consistently and not have these giant, moments, right?
I cannot get. I have that in my notes as 50% of the show, part 3 of our talk would be to make sure we capture all the psychological statements made by Liz during the show, because I think that it's just so much good material is in that. Should we start at the beginning, kind of talk out the fact that Venus finds an idol and why none of us are overwhelmed with excitement for her, because she's probably going to get voted out? I mean, go ahead, Alex.
Well, third person in a row to get voted off with an idol in their pocket. 3 people. I mean, I don't think that's ever been done. 3 people
Those
in a row.
Party favors now. It's like, hey, you can idol, you can go home now. Like, that's what you hand out at third grade parties. Is what they're doing in this season with idols?
Yeah.
I bet they have a basket at Ponderosa where they have a mailbox where you say, hey, before you enter, and like, with cell phones when you were younger, hey, put your cell phones in here before you enter. You probably put your idol in there that you didn't play before you get to go eat the food. Like, it's ridiculous. This is never before seen. I don't think there's been 3 unplayed idols, 4, right? Because there's earlier this season where what's his name had one, he left. 4 unplayed idols.
Yeah. And Venus was on the chopping block. I mean, and it's the thing is, for all the people who have been voted off, it's been almost so obvious that they were about to be voted off.
And she basically told Charlie, which
exactly,
you have 7 people left at the end of the game, several people left. Then Jelinski, don't even hint the fact that you think you have this idol, because she did exactly what Hunter did. This is crazy, guys. Bree, I like what you said, that everybody seems to be sleeping wherever they are at the end of the night, because that best illustrates these survivors this season.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. They just I mean, it's like, and then they just show Liz just laying. I can't even. We used to get such beautiful. They used to like talk building these, like, there's the structures and things that they. I don't understand what they're doing now. They make this like lean-to thing, and then they sprawl out on the ground, and it's just like, what are you guys doing? They're like, it's only 26 days. Why do we need a shelter? We'll just sleep wherever. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. It used to, all of those things, because they would even rewards, right? They'd win a tarp, and they'd win things, and they'd like tools, and they'd be into the building, and we'd see them fishing, and you got 90 minutes, guys. Like, I get it, but like, show us a little bit more of what they are doing. Not to complain. I hate complaining about things because they do a great job, and I still enjoy the show, and it's the show that they want to make. But I would like to see a little bit more. I liked it when they would do those. Remember when they would do those like challenges where like they would fly over and rate them, or they would like stop by and check out and see? Like, what happened to those?
Yeah, they'd have like the indigenous person go to the camp and like shake it and kick it, and then they'd give it. Yeah, I love that. That was fun.
Yep.
Yeah, now they're just like, we'll sleep. Like, everyone just sleeps on the beach. I think that's like a big one, is people sleep on the beach, or they sleep in the dirt. Yeah. I was gonna say something I forgot. Brandon, any thoughts on the lack of shelter building?
Well, lack of shelter building. They had a hunter, for gosh sakes, on their team. Like, why wasn't he making Rob Part 2 from Island of the Idols? Like, he could have done it. They voted him out too soon to make super shelter. He would have done it for them. Vote out Q, vote out Liz, vote out all those guys. Let Hunter just build something for you. Kick him out before fire, and then you did good. I mean, you had a hunter.
Yeah.
You had a hunter.
Well, I remember what I was going to say about Venus. Venus hinting at Charlie, oh, I have a little something. And then completely puts her foot in his mouth, because Charlie's like, oh, well, what's the something? Well, I can't tell you.
then he
why can't you tell me? We're in an alliance. What do you mean you can't tell me? It was just like the worst like foot in the mouth moment I think I've almost ever seen on Survivor.
Well,
of like, that's like a character flaw with her. She just like can't help herself but kind of like brag, or just kind of pat herself on the back, or think she's just the shiz, right?
And on an episode where she's finally making friends, or at least they're showing that she's making friends, because it started with her brilliant gameplay of like talking to the camera about, hey, I have the most experience on this island. I know where not to look for things. And then Kenzie and her are BFF because all of other Kenzie's friends are voted out. And I even wrote, does this elevate her game? Like, thinking, oh my gosh, Venus, like, you're showing up to the party. That's great. Oh, great. She grabbed the party favor of an idol. She's going to be voted out tonight because she's not going to play it, because this is what the season does. And so I thought, it was another Q episode where Q has the best game ever and then kills it. B did the exact same thing. Where's the learning taking place, guys? Where's the learning? Anybody?
Not happening. It's not happening. I mean, They don't know that she went home with it. Charlie knows she had something. She kind of tried to allude to a plan. Maybe it wasn't an advantage, but I'm pretty sure he could put 2 and 2 together. But I mean, he's a smart guy. But yeah, Venus she just destroyed her own game. And I think she really sunk it when she was at Tribal. She really kind of the way she was talking at Tribal wasn't doing her any favors. It wasn't a smart move for her. Yeah, I just think that I was never impressed with her game. Who was it that said if Q gets to the end, he wins? Was that Kenzie?
And I think it was Kenzie.
What kind of crazy stuff is she on?
Yeah. Well, I think Q, despite his, he was playing such a strong game beforehand, and then he blew up his game, and then everybody completely crossed him off. And if he is able to get to the end, I mean, there is something to say about that, and the type of player that he is. I mean, minus his one big blow up, he has, but I mean, maybe he's only here because of that, right? So you got to kind of factor that into, like, they're keeping him, and I mean, with Venus, she could have got Charlie out potentially, because you did actually see that Ben voted for Kenzie. So even if there was one vote the other way, it would have tied, and then Kenzie would have went home. But that was probably because Charlie tipped off Ben and Maria and said, "Hey, you better watch for something from Venus. We better at least put one other vote out there and stuff, in case stuff blows up." But yeah, what a huge oversight by Venus to do that. And yeah, like I said, it would have been the perfect time to get Charlie out, which you need to get one of those out. And I was wanting to know, do you guys, because we talked about this last podcast episode, right? That the right time to get rid of Maria is at 5. So it would be the next one. Do you think Charlie should have voted Maria out this time? I personally don't, but I don't know. Do you guys think it would have been a smart?
Well, he couldn't have voted her.
She won, right? Because she got the idol. But in an ideal world,
if Venus could put a little or a little ping pong ball into a little slot, I think so. I think it would have been a good time. I just don't know what other competition Charlie truly has. I don't know. Does anybody have a developed resume that's pretty concrete right now, besides Maria and maybe Charlie? I don't out of those remaining, I don't see the winner pick yet. Minus Maria. Do you guys? I mean, that's why I would say Maria, I think, can go anytime from now to then, because I think whoever gets Maria, even though that person becomes the head honcho, I don't think they're head honcho by much, because they need a whole squad of people, and no one's allowing anybody else to claim the big move. They're all finding who is it that's going to make a big move, and they squash that person, as Q tried to say about Venus.
Yeah, I might have been wrong. Maybe Ben voted for Q. Somebody voted for Q. I know there was one other vote.
Ben voted for Kenzie.
Ben voted for Kenzie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Ben voted for Kenzie, and Venus voted for Q. And right. So that's kind of how it shook out. But like, I just think, we have 6, so there'll be a vote at 6, there'll be a vote at 5, and then we hit our final 4. So next week will be 6. We'll get to our final 5 at the end of next week's episode. So I think, next, I don't know how this will shake out. Maria, I even put them in their kennel and they're still making noise. I'm sorry about the dogs' issues today. They're too rambunctious. I think I watch Maria, right? I watch what is her facial expression at Tribal? How is she handling things? I think she really mishandled the challenge, the immunity win, when she had the pizza opportunity. I do think Venus was 100% right. Like, you say you want to give food to somebody that doesn't eat. Charlie takes himself out of it. Obviously, you really should just give it to Liz. You gave it to the guy that won. Like that was just so stupid. It didn't do anything good for her, as far as some of these people will be on the jury, and you're an idiot for that. So that she's not an idiot, but that was a stupid move. To be more clear.
I wrote down, I think that was her first bad move she made. I don't think it's bad to ask the questions and just have conversation. And that was the first time ever, I think, she tried to say, okay, give me your pitch, which was excellent. And she's been doing that since day one when her and Jelinski and the other dude, Tevin maybe, were three on the island. Remember when she like was asking all the right questions to Jelinski and really Jelinski-ing him?
Yeah.
So she's been asking great questions this whole entire time. But you are right. When she said that I'm going to base this on this, you have to base it on what you say you base it on. And it was a big line. And she didn't need to either say the line, or when she did say the line, you got to pick Liz in this situation.
100%. I think that was her first bad move. And then, like I said, I do watch her facial expressions, and she gave me some Australian Carolyn moment at Tribal, the smugness on her face. And
you love that.
I don't know if the people, like, I don't think the Islanders saw that, because I don't think they were looking at her, but the jury sees it, right? And I don't think, you always have to be thinking, how am I being perceived? Because perception is everything. And if I've got this little smug look on my face, you can tell them that was your move. You can tell them the other move was your move at the final tribal. But when you have that kind of ha 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 attitude, like, got you and I'm better than you, I don't think that plays well for you. I really don't. I think the jury sees that. So be aware, especially when you're sitting right in front of them, how you are reacting to things that are happening, right? So I think that was her second mistake. So seeing that, in my opinion, 2 mistakes in that episode, I think that won't bode well for her. I think she, Charlie is ready to make the move. He knows. It may not be this next week. It may be 5. It's just gonna see. Like, I gotta think about, like, who's with who and who, because really Maria just has Q. If it comes down to that, like, that's the only vote she can truly count on. Liz is not with that. She'll get rid of Q. She'll get rid of Maria. And Kenzie would get rid of. She sees the problem with Maria. Something about Maria.
How do you solve a problem like Maria?
How do you solve it? You knew where I was going with that, right? We will do that. Maybe that'll be the title of next week's episode for me. How do you solve a problem like Maria? But I think that's Charlie's question now. So,
right. Yes.
He sees it. He knows. He won't bring her. I don't think Maria will bring him either, though. So.
Well, we had a funny comment by Johanna. She said, "You can redeem your idol for a free drink on Ponderosa." I think that's what everyone's saving for their free drink.
Better be a good drink.
Yeah. Well, that was another reason why I thought Charlie might have been like, "Oh, I'm gonna save Maria," or like, "This isn't the right." I mean, he couldn't vote her off anyways, but that was a big mistake on Maria's game, and it kind of broke that illusion that she's this mom figure. They said that at camp. Oh, she loves and cares about so many people, but then she makes this like insulting mistake where she's like, "Oh, I really want to take you, but rock, paper, scissors." And I do think it was the right decision for her to take Q and Ben, because those people are in her pocket completely. They're going to vote with her, and so they're locked up. It was the right decision for her to take it, but don't tease Liz or put it out there and tease people about it.
She may be a vote, and how they're treating Liz right now is as if everybody's taking her to the 3 because they stopped caring how she feels based on how they're not picking her in this challenge. Although it may be one of those things where, at least I think, I shouldn't care too much about how much you haven't eaten, even if you have allergies, and that may sound wrong and terrible. You came on this show, you know what this is all about. I'm not going to give it to the person who's complained the most. And maybe it's complaint, maybe it's not. That's not my reason. And again, it goes back to Maria picked her because, she should have never said, "Hey, I'm going with the most hungry," or whatever it was. That she said. But I don't know. I think that someone else go.
Well, does that type of indecisiveness catch up with her at Tribal, right? And is she going to be?
Maria,
maybe not a good, Maria. Like, maybe Maria isn't a very good extemporaneous speaker. Maybe she can't put her words together. And Charlie, I think, has done a really good job of building those relationships, right? You saw him back at camp, and everyone's agreeing with him, and Venus liked him, and Kenzie liked him. They want to work with him. They understand that he's going to work with Maria, and it's in his best interest to do so. So I think that maybe Charlie's feeling even more confident now on going to the final with Maria and saying, hey, I mean, just let Maria put her own foot in her mouth and say, who do you think was really the mastermind behind it all? Obviously the kid who went to Harvard, right? Or is going to Harvard or whatever. So maybe Charlie's feeling a little bit more confident and feeling like he has better relationships. But Maria does have probably Ben in his pocket. I don't see Ben and Charlie being best friends. Q obviously likes Maria because Maria's been keeping him around. So probably still not wise for Charlie to take Maria, but maybe he's feeling more confident now if he did potentially have to go to the final with her.
Especially since you just won immunity again. Even though we've been talking about immunity wins aren't as prevalent or isn't as thought about, it's still a notch on the belt. And I think that any notch on the belt, especially if Maria's being looked at as top dog right now by, I think, a majority of them, if not all, then, you know, another notch in the belt is helpful. I'm looking at Frank's comment. I'm reading.
Yeah, I know there's a lot to it. I really agree with him on this, though. The disingenuousness of how like her, what she's saying and what she's doing are two different things. And she did try to create this persona. That was her brand, right? We'll get back to marketing. Her brand was the mom who cares and is, you know, supportive of people. And now she's kind of sliding in and being this person. And when you go from strategic to, you know, villainous, and in this way, like, I thought it was a slap in the face. And I love a good villain. I love a good villain, but I don't like a villain that's not making good choices. And I think the way she played that, she should have just picked Q and been done with it and been like, I'm picking Q, and not said all the other crap. Because that's a villain who doesn't share, like, doesn't try to mask it in a way. I don't know. I just, like, it wasn't good villainy. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say. You know, like, she was just making up excuses and saying stupid things. And doesn't look well thought out. A villain should be well thought out. Like Johnny Fairplay with the grandma thing was so well thought out. Like, he milked it. He did everything. He brought it. He took that all the way through. And she didn't do that. She was just like, oh, I'm going to take the most starving people. And then Q should not even, like, it shouldn't have been down to Q. Q should have been like Charlie, okay, you're not in this, so it's going to be Liz. If you're saying that, and if you don't want to bring Liz, then don't make up some weird rando lie about it and then just take Q anyway. Like,
there's a lot here. There's so much here. And you do look lovely in lavender today, Brie. So there's two things there, I think. One is, I hope I don't lose this, is Maria, yeah. Help me figure out at the very beginning of the season, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think she was the one who kind of said that she didn't really want to play the mom role and that it just happened to her. So she was like, I'll go with it. Is that correct?
I remember something like that. Yeah.
I thought they were pretty, like, specific either on her, or I might be thinking Julie.
No, you were right. She was like, you know, I am, like, older than everybody, but don't call me mom. I don't want to be mom, but everyone's going to call you mom. And guess what? People love mom. So you should just embrace it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, don't call me your mom. No, please.
Correct. And I think that's what makes
years on these people. So yeah.
Right.
That's what makes it hard. And I agree with the whole brand comment. I think this one's a little bit more difficult because she wasn't trying to push that brand until she's like, I guess I'll go with it for a little bit and then start being aggressive and play the game when I'm supposed to, so I don't get voted out too early for making too aggressive of a move. So my take on it is I don't think she's been off brand, but I think that she was, I guess, fitting into a brand she never identified with in the first place, if that's fair. So do you think right now that she is playing the best game with that bad decision? If we agree that was a bad decision on her part to mention that we're playing for the starving people, is she playing the best game still?
So potentially, yes. You know, minus that one snafu. I mean, she did have the biggest move in the game, which was voting off, I think, Tiffany. I think could be qualified as the biggest move of the game. Potentially, there aren't kind of a lot of maybe really, really huge moves. I think maybe her biggest move though was pulling in Q. And we talked about this on previous like episodes. Is like, you can't just cross people off and say, I'm not going to work with this person. I don't like them. You're on a game for $1 million. Everybody has utility and value. Everybody's a vote. She was the only one smart enough to say, hey, no, you know what? All things aside, I can still work with this guy that everybody else has crossed off and say you can't work with. And now that it's down to 6, I mean, that's huge. I mean, so people just made a huge oversight. We talked about her kind of maturity, you know, that she has more life experience than these people to say. People do make really big mistakes in life, and that doesn't disqualify them from you ever interacting with them again forever. Like, just such an oversight by so many people, I think, there. But I don't know, Brie, what do you think? You think she's playing the best game?
I think she's playing a really great game. She's making some mistakes, but I feel like she's definitely painted Emma Long. She's put a big target on the next to be voted off. I don't know if Charlie. I think he's going to have to think really clearly on what votes do I need and who do I, because you have to be thinking final 3 right now. And so what is the play to get you to final 3? And I think he definitely will not take Maria to final 3. I don't believe I think that he feels they're pretty neck and neck right now. I think it's too much of a risk, right? Do you take somebody that has played a great game, that you can see is playing a really great game, and is actually pretty well liked by the jury? Let's not forget the jury. And if she's well liked by them, and I think she is, for the people that are on it right now, maybe the last one, you know, Venus going, maybe not so much, and Tiffany going, maybe not so much. But I think the other people there still really like her. And so I think you have to look at that. And so why take that risk? Why risk it when you could bring Liz and you could bring Ben, who have not done anything this whole season, really, except for rock out and have a fit over Applebee's, right? I mean, what is their resume? They don't have one. So why take the risk and bring Maria? You just can't bring her. So he's going to, I think, because she had that win, take her out as soon as he possibly can. The second she's open, there's a lot of people that want her gone. It's an easy out. Can he insulate himself enough to get to the final then?
But with all this, I think our jury has a first name, and it's Bittr with an E in there. If you saw that doesn't work. Anyways, with them, did you see that jury over there? None of them smiling, all angry. Is this just bad editing, or is this like, do you think it's a bitter jury? I don't think they look too happy right now.
Well, I was getting them all last season because they were like they were like hooping and hollering. They're like, every time somebody got voted out, they'd be like, whoa, jumping out of their seats, throwing the popcorn up in the air, you know, just crazy. So yeah, the jury doesn't look too happy. They look pretty reserved. I think that Charlie needs to keep Maria even up until final 5, final 4, because if you look at it, let's say he does vote Maria off next tribal. We have Linz and Kenzie who are now bonded with Ben, because Ben kind of likes Kenzie. Q, he's just like, I just need to vote off the strong people. So that's Charlie. I don't think Charlie can vote Maria off. I think that he has to keep her in order to get to the final 4 and even the final 3. So because even if he has a strong relationship with Kenzie or Liz, which he doesn't have a strong relationship with Liz, doesn't have one with Q, maybe a little bit with Ben. So I think that Charlie actually needs to keep Maria up until final 4, win the challenge, which he possibly could do because he's young. He's proved his endurance. He could win that 4th challenge and then vote Maria off. And if he votes Maria off at final 4 to get into final 3, it's Charlie. I mean, he might get every vote. I mean, literally. So
that's so tough to figure out if Maria needs Charlie and if Charlie needs Maria.
I don't think Maria needs Charlie. I think Maria could vote Charlie off and still have Q and still have Ben to vote Kenzie and Liz off.
See, I think they are both such smooth talkers that when it's a need, I don't think it's necessarily a need, because I've seen Maria have conversations where it's just like, oh, she just changed that person's opinion. Like, that was quick. The Liz thing, she talked to Liz like straight after Liz was pissed at her for this move. And let's keep in mind that Liz actually not sided with Maria, and I think still sees Maria as a threat, but was able to calm that ship down. So, man, I think both Charlie and Maria, I don't know if they're necessarily in need of, I think it's going to be great if they can, but I don't think they've lost the game if they don't at this point because of how good, and that may be just I might be in the minority here.
No, that's a good opinion. You saw that after. So Maria goes to the challenge with Q and Ben. Q eats 26 slices of pizza, I think he said. And they go back and Liz is like, you jerk, like you didn't take me. And they go on that boat and they're sitting on the boat. And she literally does, like Brandon said, calm her down and change her opinion and soothe her. And then with Charlie, he's talking to Venus. Venus has been, never aligned with Charlie. I don't think maybe the entire, they haven't been close. And she basically reveals she has an idol and an advantage just because Charlie is this, such a friendly kid to talk to, right? Type of thing. So you're right. They both are pretty, smooth talkers, but I just don't know if Charlie can get Q or because has he built that relationship back up with Q? I don't think so. I think Maria's the only one.
Yeah, Maria's the only one.
Yeah. But Q, though, I think he's so unpredictable that he might be Charlie's best friend by the end of the season still, because I can't figure out the game. And I think that's what's hard about this one is that there's so many unpredictable players. Liz is this emotional, crazy person at times, but she's calm enough to not vote Q yet. Like she knows, okay, I can't do this just yet. And she's able to control the parts of the game that she can. And it's been effective for her at this moment, unless they're just stringing her along, which I think there's some evidence for that as well.
Now, keep in mind, and don't forget, we have had a song battle early on that could have very well bonded Charlie and Ben. We got the T-Swift thing. I mean, let's go. So I think that there actually is a bond between Charlie and Ben. I think that they bonded early on because that was a fun game. We all enjoyed it. We're like, that was kind of cool. That was like an extra little bonus that wasn't planned by production, maybe. And so I think there's still some stuff between those two. They've never been at odds over anything. They've never gone up different directions. They've stayed pretty strong together. So I think that Charlie still has Ben as a definite ally in this. I think he makes a deal with Ben to say, I'll bring you to the final three because, Ben is not a threat to Charlie at all, but a definite number for him. So I really think that there's an opportunity for Charlie and Ben. And then who is the third that he brings with? And I also wanted to say, if Charlie goes to fire making, if you don't think that he practiced that over and over again, if he has not practiced fire making, Harvard's going to kick him out. So, I mean, preparation, people, preparation.
Speaking of Harvard, so I did some research based on Liz's hypothesis about whether or not holding your emotions, becoming too stressed in life, develops into allergies. And Harvard University did the study and they said, no, it does. It emphasize allergies you already have, but it cannot create new allergies. So thank you, Harvard and Charlie, for all your work on proving Liz wrong.
Yeah. That was kind of an interesting thing. That's interesting, though. That could increase your allergies. This kind of pent-up emotion. That's interesting.
That's Harvard and Berkeley, I think, also talked about that. So,
well, she said that she grew up very poor and she had a lot of food insecurity. So, if you do know about food allergies, it's usually exposure at a young age to things like peanuts and these things that can cause allergy. Is the exposure to them when you're very young?
Yes, so, because in Japan, rice allergy is a huge thing because and it can be overconsumption. If you have too much of it, then you can develop an allergy for it. So here in America, peanut butter is a big one. Hey, people are learning on our show. We are so much more than a Survivor podcast.
I know. Wow.
I know. So yeah.
Wow. More Harvard studies on future episodes. Yeah.
That's right. Keep in here, Charlie. Keep picking people from auditions. You know what is not an allergy at this time I know of is Twizzlers.
I was seriously gonna say that. I was like, Jeff getting that Twizzler in his mouth. He should stop doing the food, Jeff. He keeps having these
I love it.
These flummoxes. Yeah. He's like, I was rubbing it all over.
And you know that he was like, I don't care anymore. I bet 20 years younger Jeff would have had them delete that in production. But he's like, oh, just keep the edit of me not being able to eat a Twizzler the correct way.
Will Jeff have a new snack food on every tribal council now? Will he just get his different? He'll just be eating a 4-course meal.
I hope
TV
he's
dinner
eating
tray.
a bourbon burger next week. I hope.
Yeah, he should. Yeah. Everybody gets one eighth of a bourbon burger.
It's a 6-day-old bourbon burger from the time they didn't eat the other ones.
Oh my God.
Oh, we're talking about the Twizzler, Brie. We're talking about the Twizzler.
Oh, Jeff and his snacks and his cushion. I'm like, do we need? Is he needing a walker soon? It's like, dude, really? Like, he's just like, I don't even know if production knows he's like sneaking snacks on his set at this point. They're just like, what?
I hope next time it's barbecue pork rinds and he's just on the microphone.
Right? What will he bring next?
Oh my gosh. That was.
Yeah, he's like, oh, I'm just going to kick back and relax. It's like, again, Jeff, you're the host. Dude, you need to moderate. You need to grill these people.
I'm a fan of this, man. I say bring on the pork rinds.
So last year it was the knife. This year it's the snacks.
Yeah. But like, we get it now. So do something different, in my opinion. Right. That's how I see it. So.
Well, I do want to talk about, we have 17 minutes left and we're down to 6. And we're quickly going to be finding a winner here in about 2 episodes, right? We're almost done here.
Yeah.
Brie, did you by chance see the wheel that I sent?
I did see the wheel that you sent.
Oh, are we going to put it up?
I have it. It's going to go right over the top of us, though, so we won't be seen. But there we go.
That's okay.
It is right there. Get half of you guys. Peek around.
Perfect.
I can't be seen. I'm in the background.
No.
It's okay.
So what I thought would be fun for those who are with us and for Alex, Brie, and I to use kind of Liz's, the psychological things she's learning in the show and she's taken on and she's owning to be able to express her emotions, which is so important out there. Those people that are watching to be able to express your emotions. So I have the very famous psychological wheel of all the emotions. And I kind of wanted to see, and please chime in, those watching, what emotion would you have if whoever we say, that person, if they win this game? Okay. So we're not talking about how they're playing now, but if they currently win their game based on how they've already played. Okay. Do you guys get this? So you're picking one word on how you feel.
Yes.
And it's
I have to read upside down, and they're tiny. To get reading glasses.
Is this useful for anybody besides me?
I'm like, I'm right next to the microphone, so I'll talk quieter. But it's like, I don't know. Okay. Repugnant. Oh, wow. I like that word. That's a good word.
And there's some good ones here that we just don't say we're mad or angry, but let's get into the nitty gritty of these bigger, awesome words. Okay. So the first person, we've talked about, I think, more than anybody else, and that is Maria. So if Maria won, based on what has transpired in this season so far, what would your emotion be? And actually, you guys play paper, rock, scissors to figure out who goes first.
Pick rock.
Okay. I lick paper. I'll go first. Okay. I would feel,
how would you feel if Maria
I would just feel accepted. I would just feel, acceptance.
Okay.
Yeah, she won. She's the rightful winner. Fine. I'm not too excited. I'm not too overjoyed. I'm just accepted.
Okay. Brie, what's your feeling?
I'm reading these, and I'm like looking in the happy section. So I'm in the green.
Good.
Somewhere in the green. Definitely not surprised. No fear, no anger, no disgust. Maria, I just met a girl named Maria. I'm going to go with all the music quotes I can find today.
Join the contest.
Yes. I'm happy for her. So I think it's earned. I don't know if that's a word on there. I think it's deserving. Is that a good word?
I think so.
I don't know if it's on there anywhere, but I think deserving. I think she's definitely played a good game. So deserving. Yeah, I'd be like, I'm okay with that. So yeah, deserving. I don't know where the word is. I can't read upside down. But yes, that's going to be my word.
Okay. I'm going to choose. I think she is playing the best game. I love when the person playing the best game wins this game. I don't think she's going to be one of my top 10 winners of all time by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
But I think that her being the first real mom to win this in quite some time, I'll go as far as amused. I'll be amused that she took this home. I'll be happy to see how she did this in the game. Okay. Great job, guys. Amused. So let's go with Charlie. How would you feel if Charlie was the winner of the season?
Okay, I have to jump in on this one because I wasn't crazy about Charlie in the beginning, right? Like he was not. I was like Harvard boy. Like, come on, you got a lot in your life. You got. I don't know. I wasn't. He wasn't my winner pick in the beginning by any means. If he wins, so that would give me a little surprise, but I mean, I'd be okay with that as well because I do think he's surprised me a lot by his like how well he's doing and that he took the Malcolm role in that whole thing. I like that. So, I've got to read upside down. I'm like, what? I would go with, I'd be excited for him. I'd be happy. I'd be excited.
Great.
That's in the surprise. That's in the surprise blue part of the wheel.
Yeah,
light blue.
Yeah. The happy thoughts are coming up. This is great, guys. All right. Yeah. Alex.
If you know anything about my Survivor, picks and who I like to see win, I always like to see the nerdy one win. I always like to see the Cochran, the David White, those type of people. So I would feel inspired. I would say, wow, go nerds. Good job, Charlie. So very, very, very inspired, which is on the happy scale, if anyone was wondering.
You got a green one. This is good. This is good. This is making me feel good. We haven't gotten to other people yet, but we got a good feeling going on. I am going to go with not loving. That's not doesn't fit. I will say right by Maria's actually. I think ecstatic. And I think that I'll be ecstatic about that because I think he has played one of the best well-rounded parts in Survivor history, maybe. The fact that he got the grip thing down, he talked openly about that. The fact that I think he was the best one to form alliances at the very beginning of this game. Like he made himself untouchable for weeks because of his strong relationship with Maria and Charlie's Angels Alliance. And I think he especially talked about how he kind of felt like he was in the middle this past episode. And some people don't treat that middle position too well. We saw it with Sarah Lacina in her first episode where she was in the middle and she kind of got a little bit too comfortable with it. So he's making sure he's still uncomfortable or at least knows that at any potential time people can turn on him. But so far he's untouchable. So I think I'd be ecstatic because then that also means he beat Maria, which I think has the best chance of winning so far. Let's go with Kenzie, guys. Kenzie, where are we at?
I'm going in the blue. No more greenage. I'm definitely moving into the blue area of this. Really shocked. I love Kenzie. I'd be okay if Kenzie won, even though she hasn't done a whole lot, just because I like her as a human. I think she's cool. Plus, she's got a lot of tattoos, so that's always a winning thing for me. But I would probably be shocked that she won. Mm-hmm. I think unless she's up against like Q and Liz and Ben or something like that. I think Kenzie could beat Liz and Ben, so that would be not as shocking. But with anyone else, pretty much, I don't think she'd win. So that would be shocking.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome.
I would be in the surprise category, blue category. I would be amazed. I would be amazed if that happened. If Kenzie ended up winning this, I mean, there'd have to be a series of unfortunate events for that to happen, but I would be pretty amazed if it did.
Yeah, I'm going to go with maybe perplexed, in between astonished and perplexed, I think. Maybe a little bit disillusioned, just because the winner came from the tribe of Yanu and all the, the crazy that she had to endure to win this game. So it stays with a happy feeling of surprise, but it's falling off to the side of maybe not deserved, but just holy smokes, how in the world did that take place? Did we just watch all that? All right, we're moving on to Q. How did the feelings change? We've been green and purple for a while. Where are we at with Q?
I know I'm right in that orange section. So go ahead, Alex.
Well, you go first. You seem confident. Go with yours.
Awful.
Awful.
Wow.
I'm sorry. He hasn't played a good game. He's there because he's just not a threat at this point. I mean, all he's given us really this season is this instability of and this emotional roller, not even because we don't care. Here's the thing. I don't care enough about him to consider him giving me an emotional roller coaster. I'm just like, I'm Liz at Tribal.
I was going to say that was very Liz of you.
Yeah, you can't see me, but I'm doing the whole.
As Jeff would say, let me see that again.
Yeah. So I just, like not. I probably maybe a little pissed too, but awful. Okay. Yeah.
Alex.
I would feel astonished, surprised, astonished. I'm not a big Q hater. I hate how it's played out, like how he just hasn't been able to play the game now. Like, that's what I don't like is like, okay, he made a mistake, but let it keep playing. So I'd be astonished. I'm not super pissed at Q. Wish he didn't do that. Wish he could still play like he was playing. But I'm not going to be angry. I would be astonished if he won though, because I can't imagine anybody wanting to vote for him because it seems like everybody really doesn't like him. And they really don't respect what he did. But I'm not horribly mad at him. But yeah, what do you think, Brendan?
I think for me, it goes into the orange of disgust, perhaps disapproval, and then on top of that, not loathing, but just very judgmental of this whole entire season. Like, did we really pick these 20 people to put him into a winner's position? And was the season really filled of that much crazy for him to be the one? I just can't see how they could ever reward somebody or somebody win this game after they even tried to quit. It reminds me of who was it? One of the earlier seasons, she became an all-star on season 8. What was her name? I'm talking about. She dated Ethan.
Oh,
Jenna Maraska.
Yeah.
Jenna Maraska, who kind of was trying to quit, and then they award her. I kind of would feel the same way about her winning her season. Just kind of like, ugh, really? This is where we got. This is what we got. Should we do Liz? Let's do Liz.
All right. For Liz, who else we got left? We got only Ben left, I think, is our last. For Liz, I would feel personally victimized. I'm just joking. No, I was waiting for that one. I should have used that. I should have used that for Q.
Yeah, I was about to use
that for Q. I would feel again, like I don't. If anybody wins, like I'm like, okay, that's interesting or that's fine. I do want people, deserving people to win. But if Liz won, I would feel quite amused. I already used amused. I would feel quite I don't know. I would feel disapproval and judgmental. I would feel disapproval and judgmental towards the jury. I would say, what are you guys thinking? What are the qualifications for winning Survivor? Because I don't know if they were exactly followed by Liz. Not really a social player, didn't really build relationships, kind of on her own island the entire time, playing her own game. I mean, that's one way to do it, but I don't know if it's the way that people really win the game, right? So disapproval.
Fair enough. Disapproval. I'm glad it went from victimized to disapproval. I'm now
personally victimized. Yeah.
I'd be mad. I don't think she has what it takes to win. I don't think she wins because of her marketing campaign that's out right now. So I really don't think she wins. I'd be mad. I'd be mad because I don't, and it has nothing to do with the meltdowns, to be honest with you. It goes back to her, I just want to win. I don't need the money. I just think that's such a bad thing to say on Survivor, and to act that way, because you're really like, there's people that go on this show that are in a situation where they really like, it could really change lives for them. I mean, it's going to change, $1 million is going to change anyone's life, except for maybe a billionaire. But like, just to make it seem so trivial, like that $1 million isn't important at all. Bullshit. Sorry, swearing. Sorry, but it's crap. I don't like it. I think it's wrong. And so I'd be mad. I think that right there it's not okay. Just like you said with Q, someone that tried to quit should never be rewarded with $1 million at the end. And so I feel the same way. I don't think with her being that way of like, I don't care. I just want to win it because I can say I won it. Nah, sorry, mad.
Totally agree. And on the Q note, just one last time for Q is, man, I just see him somehow using kind of like what he did with Jelinski, where he basically sounded like Jelinski was the one who quit, where it sounded like they both quit that the water challenge, or the log challenge or whatever it was, the first episode in. I kind of feel like he's going to use that episode of him losing, or him trying to quit, and him saying that, hey, you guys liked me so much, you had me stay. Like, I can see him saying something like that was part of his lifelong strategy in this game. But if we have to go back to, we're on Liz. Am I on Liz?
Yeah.
Yep.
Liz, I am at, gosh, it's so close to victimized. I think that I would be more or less empty. Maybe feel a little bit abandoned because I just don't know how I watched all this for this to be the winner. I'm still thinking that they casted her not solely based on, but a reason why they picked her was this whole food situation where she can't hack it because she's not getting the food she typically eats, and that's going to be this temptation. I wasn't on board with that storyline. I wasn't excited about that. I think she's complained and trying to say that it's okay to complain, which it is, but this is $1 million, so I think it's different. So I would say a little empty on, we had some potential here. And then the last one, this one's going to be difficult, I think. Ben. If Ben should win Survivor, 46, how you feeling so far?
I mean, I would be happy for Ben. I mean, he's a nice guy. He's been a nice guy the entire time. He's had some critical things to say about Q, maybe some other people, but I mean, generally seems like a nice, happy guy. I think the elements are wearing on him recently. He's looking a little bit more tattered and worn down, maybe a little bit less joyful, a little bit less rocking. But I would also feel pretty fearful. I mean, just for I'm trying to read upside down here. Yeah, I would feel very just be an odd turn for Survivor. I don't know if we've ever had somebody like Ben, just a nice guy at the end win. That's just it. You're just a nice guy. Have we ever had somebody just go to the end and they just won because they were nice? I mean, that woman against Russell, but I don't think that was really the reason that she won. But
it's like the whitest sneakers trophy, right? It's like
whitest sneakers. Yeah.
Great
Class
job.
clown wins. Yeah.
Class clown.
In the words of AC/DC, problem child, 1976. No. Dismayed. Yeah, I'm just, he great guy. I really like Ben. I think he's this really great guy. He's no winner in my book. So problem child. I'm going with that one. Okay. I'm going to quote his lyrics back at him.
Okay. I love that. I'm going to go with bored or indifferent, apathetic. I don't think I'll really be mad about it. I don't think I'd really be too excited about it. I think I'm just like, okay, all right. Survivor 47. Let's start. So I think that's where I'd be on that. Thank you guys for taking me on in this challenge here. This is get the feelings out, as Liz
expanded
we had some great comments I couldn't put up, so I had to put them up now. But Brennan says, if it's Liz, I'm pissed.
That's right. Yeah.
It's her voice, obviously.
Yes.
And Amy's like, I feel super smart right now. Thanks, you guys.
Perfect.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be an interesting run. We've got 2 episodes left, and we'll have a winner. I think Ben is not going to make it. I honestly think it's going, out of the 2 people I think that will go next week, I'm gonna say probably, I do think Maria's time has come. I think if Charlie wants to make a move, he has to do it. And I do feel like him and Ben and maybe Kenzie, if they can let's go to the final 3, would be a really nice final 3 for them. But if they can't, then I think Maria will pull the plug on Kenzie. I don't think Maria will make a move on Charlie till 5. So.
Okay. Alex.
So your final 3 is potential.
Her final 3 is
mine is Ben, Charlie, and Kenzie.
That's a good one. Okay. I think Liz goes next, followed by Kenzie. I think it's going to be Q, Charlie, and Maria in the end.
Q, Charlie, Maria. Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
I don't know exactly how they get there, but I just have this feeling that Maria and Charlie, they're not going to be able to detach, and it's going to be bad. I mean, unless it's at that 4 where there's the fight. If Charlie wins, they'll vote off Maria. Maria wins, they'll vote off Charlie. So maybe it's Charlie, Ben, and Q, but I mean that's maybe another scenario. But I just have a feeling like this Charlie and Maria relationship is going to last. So
wow. Yeah, I don't, I think Charlie wins this game. I think they've been really good at showing just little glimpses of how he tried at the very beginning with the grips. And I think that he talked about, hey, I'm in the middle position, so this is what I got to do. I think he's got this. I think he has a new set of Charlie's Angels on both sides. I think it's Kenzie, and I think it's Liz, because I think she is playing that 3rd survivor role. And Charlie takes this one home.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
You think Charlie wins it too, Brie?
No, she does not think.
I think Charlie wins it. I think it's Charlie. I see Charlie, Ben, and Kenzie, and Charlie wins it hands down. I don't think the other 2 have done anything. And I think Kenzie thinks that she might have done enough. So she'd be like, oh, I could beat Charlie, so I'll do that. And I think Ben probably knows, like, just get me as far as I can. The farther I go, the more money I make, right? So I just, he's just having a good time.
I mean, there's a really easy path, though, on next episode of Q, Liz, Kenzie, and Ben all teaming up to vote off one of the powerhouses, Charlie and Maria. And if they are all smart, if Ben wants to play this game, that's the move that he would do. But we'll see.
Lastly, who's most likely to find an idol and not play it next week?
Right.
For the 4th week in a row.
I think, is the next episode the last time, or 5 they can play it too, so they could save it one more.
They could do it.
Well, more. I think Liz would do it. I think Liz would save it and not play it. I mean, I think that's very in Liz's wheelhouse.
When it drops in her lap as she's sleeping, right? She's
exactly.
not even searching. She's just like, I don't care. Like her lack of caring. The person that I think Maria finds one, and that would actually make a great twist. So if production is thinking about that while this is happening out there during that time of filming, they would maybe make it easier for her. I don't know. But if you have, because then when Charlie tries to go for her, then because she knows that's going to come, I think she's smart enough to see it. I don't know. It'll be interesting. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be fun. Get your Twizzlers.
Alex, who are your 3?
My 3 at the end are Maria, Q, Charlie. Okay. I don't know how they're getting there, but I just have this feeling that Maria and Charlie are going to be at the end together. And I feel like Charlie and both of them, I feel like they'll beat the other one. If they're smart, they won't, because there will be votes either way. But I feel like both of them feel confident enough, and both of them feel like they need each other enough to take each other. So my prediction.
There we go. Okay. We want to hear your predictions. Thanks for hanging out with us today, Brennan, Johanna, Frank. We had who else was in here? We had somebody earlier in here too. Bobby was in here. Of course, Bobby's in here. Bobby's in here all the time. I saw him the other night in the Chop Up. If you don't know about the Chop Up, check it out Tuesday nights on STWF TV here on YouTube. Check them out. The Chop Up is my favorite show, and we're going to be doing a recap. We're going to do a movie review coming up soon on Fallout. So that'll be fun. I have to watch the movie. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm excited for that. We love having you guys hang out with us. Thanks for participating and going along on this ride. Make sure to get your Twizzlers and popcorn and stop by your local Applebee's for a bourbon burger. We'll see you guys next week. Bye, everybody. Bye.